Have you ever felt that quiet voice that lives inside yourself, the one that never shouts, but somehow always knows? Like a whisper that nudges you towards something unknown, usually to something bigger, something deeper, something which will make you expand. What happens when we follow it? And what happens when we don't? Hi everyone, and welcome back. I'm Elka. I'm a soul reader, a transformational healer, and have been so for 15 years already. And in today's episode, I wanted to take you all on a small journey to explore this communication with our own soul a little bit deeper, as I think it's somehow often quite misunderstood. This is not a story just about me, even if I'm speaking from my own experience, but of course it's about all of us, as we all have this small voice inside ourselves. So, just relax and please let go of any preconceived idea. And let's go on a journey. Let's see where it leads us. Is our soul always trying to guide us? I believe it is. I certainly do believe so. However, it's very quiet, soft, but persistent. It's a very persistently guiding us. However, we usually do not follow this guidance of our soul, but rather the far more stronger voice of our ego, the one which is always speaking far louder. The one that makes so much noise inside ourselves, and this is the one which always talks about all the dangers, all the things about reason, logic, about all the things we can do and which we can't do, and all our shortcomings and everything that could go wrong, and so on and so forth. And because it always, our ego wants us to be safe, it always wants us to stay in the same place, basically. And so we all step into life and we start to commit our many mistakes, and usually our many mistakes go further, and soon enough we will feel completely lost at some point in life. And this is really good, because it's only when we get really lost that we can find something, isn't it? We can only find that which was lost, and we only learn through mistakes. We don't learn anything when life is like smooth sailing, do we? No, we don't. So all of this is part of the plan, of course. This is the way it must be. However, when we are in those very dark periods of life, when everything seems to be going wrong, and we usually feel really angry, we can start to feel really angry with life, and really that nothing has meaning anymore. We feel like, what is going on? What on earth is going on? And we can feel really abandoned and really angry with life. And this is usually the breaking point, when we start to understand the deeper part of the journey. However, the guidance, our soul is always there. But of course, it never forces anything. It always respects our free will, even when we choose a path or paths that take us far from clarity, truth, and peace. It will always respect that also. As a child, I always felt this invisible hand guiding me. Subtle, but unmistakable. It guided me to make many strange choices and certain turns. I always listened, even when I didn't understand anything about what this guidance could mean. I always followed. I always listened and I always followed. Not because of fear, no, not at all. Out of certainty. I was certain, I was absolutely certain that this guidance was leading me towards my path, towards my journey. I was so absolutely certain about this, even when I didn't understand anything about the next step. Truly. And of course, my life became far more interesting, increasingly rich, and not necessarily easier, no, not at all, but deeply meaningful. And of course, needless to say, it never ever led me upon a ready-made path. No, I had to carve it out. And in that carving, in that constant carving, I of course discovered layer after layer after layer of who I truly am. And today, looking back, well, I know now that this is basically the path of the old soul. We don't come here anymore to not so much to explore that as to remember. So all that exploring, which of course it was in a certain way, but in this case the exploring was only to find pieces of myself. All those countries I have lived in, the places I lived, all the people I have met, the joys and trials, they were all part of this sacred recollection. All of it. And of course, that invisible hand would lead me to Mexico. That I am truly always so grateful for. And I think more than anything, because it is a magic land, it's a land where the mystical and the ordinary actually walks hand in hand in everyday life. Yeah, always. So it is really the land of miracles, magic and miracles. So it's a land where everything can be possible in a way I have never experienced in any other place on earth. Well, the places I know at least. It's so highly magical. And of course this was the perfect place for me at least to alchemize myself. I came to Mexico completely alone. I was very young, of course. I knew no one and I did not speak the language. So it was not a very easy situation. However, I truly felt that Spirit always was walking beside me. And I never ever felt afraid. Never ever felt afraid. Even in the most uncertain moments, which were not one, but several, when I was really surrounded by danger. Really, actually surrounded by danger. But somehow, miraculously, I always arrived safely. Always. Because I trusted that invisible hand so strongly, and it trusted me. So we were a team. We were the perfect team. I truly had certainty in that guidance, that it would not allow any harm to happen, and it didn't. But of course, there came the day when I chose to go my own way, when Spirit said left, and I wanted to go right. I knew, of course, I was defying the guidance, but thought, well, what harm could it do? What harm could it do? As almost most people in this world never ever follow their own guidance. And look, so what on earth could happen to me? Let's try just this time, no? Well, what I did not realize, of course, was that I was so easily offended. If we repeatedly ignore its voice, it grows quiet. It actually stops guiding. And that silence is deafening. That silence to me was the most scary thing I have ever experienced. I mean, by far, the most scary thing. And of course, I lost the connection for years. 4 years. We are all free. We are all free to choose as we please. But often the price of that freedom is disconnection. Disconnection from the part of us that truly knows. The tragedy is that we are conditioned to follow logic, not our own inner wisdom. Most never ever listen to their soul, not because it's silent, but because they never ever learned how to listen. Or maybe they do listen, but they never ever follow. Yet, of course, the soul is always there, inviting us into something deeper, fuller, more expanding. It always seeks experience, because that's why we are here. We are here, we come to life to experience more and more and more, in order to grow, in order to collect more information. And this usually do not happen when we stay in one and the same comfort zone. But if we refuse to follow its lead, well, what will happen? It will simply wait. It will simply wait. So the good news here, the more we listen and the more we follow, the clearer becomes the voice. And over time, it will become our biggest ally, our most loyal friend. It really does. So if you long to reconnect to your soul's guidance, start by being willing to follow. Don't just ask for signs. Respond to them. Act upon them. Start to say, yes, I'm willing. The soul is always speaking inside us. But of course it speaks in whispers, and it is up to us to choose. It's up to us. Do we follow the familiar road? Or the path that's calling us from deep, deep, deep within? What do we choose? What do we choose? That was it. If this message stirs something inside you, take that as a sign that maybe it's time to stop forcing and to start listening. Maybe, just maybe. Thank you so much for being here again. Thank you so much. Hope that something of this spoke to your soul. And that it maybe gave you a little broader picture about how our soul really communicates with us. Thank you so much also for all your likes, subscribes, comments. Truly grateful. I'm so honored that you're helping me slowly but surely to grow. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye. Bye.